Here we are once again on the road. It's bittersweet, but it's time for my daughter to go back up to New York to college, which I'm so proud of her, but I'm also sad at the same time. So I feel like I spent a lot of time on I-95 since she started college, but actually it's not even since she started college. I've been back and forth on I-95 driving for years now. We left Florida. Now we're entering over into Georgia. The weather was really good. There was no accidents, except for one, which was on the other side, heading south. We're heading north. Um, like I said, the weather was good. It wasn't too cold because of being in the south, but as we got closer up north, that's when it started to get colder. Now we're entering into South Carolina, and of course, I have to do my normal stop. Ever since they built this place, I have to stop every single time I pass by, and it is Buc-ee's, of course. So that's the exit to Buc-ee's in South Carolina. It's near Florence, South Carolina. Or it's in Florence. So it's usually kind of hit or miss where it comes to whether it's extremely busy or not. I don't live in that area, so I'm not really sure what determines and what factors into whether it's extremely busy or not. But this was on a Friday, so as you can see, there isn't much traffic going into Buc-ee's coming from the south. I don't know much. It's like coming from the north if it was more traffic. But, of course, I love Buc-ee's, so I had to stop. This part here, right, like really upsets me. Like, clearly you're in the turn lane, but you went straight. But, like, I am not traffic patrol. I will mind my business and go get my gas. I'm going to fill up at one of the hundreds of pumps available at Buc-ee's, so I don't have to fill up again until I reach Maryland. And that should last me at least to my destination in New York. Um, It's always really easy pulling up to the gas pumps here, and everybody really seems to make it so easy and flow perfectly. Now, this next part right here is so frustrating because this tire only acts up when I'm driving long distance. Now I'm inside of Buc-ee's, and every time I go there, I try to look at a different section and each time. I don't have time because I'm usually on a time crunch to spend hours at Buc-ee's, especially when I already know I have at least a 19-hour drive total. So it's basically we stop, possibly get something to eat or drink, which I didn't this time, but definitely to use the restroom and get gas. And I don't know how often they change their artwork, But I noticed this time that the artwork was different in the restrooms. So I don't, like I said, I don't know how often they change the artwork, but that's really a cool idea, and good, pretty cool that they do that. Like, so it's not the same look every single time you go there. And of course, if you see my previous videos, y'all know Buc-ee's restrooms is a whole vibe. It's like so neat, so clean. And the stalls are like the size of some dressing rooms of some stores. Now I'm just walking around a little bit more to stretch my legs, checking out the different items that they have on this section of this location, which I noticed they have like spices and seasonings, hot sauces, barbecue sauces. They also had different kinds of coffees, and of course their cups, and they even have trays, which I didn't notice the last time, but they have trays for in your car so that you can eat in your car. They have wines, and that's like the refrigerator section over there. And that was my daughter, the college girl, college student. So the refrigerated section, and yeah, walking around some more. Now we're back on the road. Of course, we're about to enter into North Carolina, and so you're gonna see south of the border off on the right. I really don't stop there anymore, but I always think about it. South of the border always reminds me of my grandmother. If you've seen my previous videos, you know that my grandmother passed away, but she always loved stopping at south of the border, no matter how many times she's been there, no matter how many times we're on I-95. We always have to stop at south of the border. My grandmother would always act like it was her first time ever being there, but it brings back fond memories. And so in this right here, I have to honestly say that North Carolina has been doing construction on I-95 for at least 30 years. Like every single time I'm on I-95 in North Carolina, there's always road construction going on. Right here is an outlet that I always mean to stop by and like walk around, but being on a time crunch once again, never really get the opportunity to stop. But one day I'm gonna make it there and stop, and I'm gonna make a video. Now we are in Virginia, and of course it's dark, and my camera wasn't really focusing properly. So, but this is going to be the end of part one. So we arrived in New York about 3 o'clock in the morning. So it was really dark and everyone was tired. So we just wanted to just get checked in and get to sleep. But this is the hotel across the street from her college. And this is the room. So as soon as you walk in to the left, there's this kitchen area. Then there's like a little living room area with a pull-out sofa couch, which is like a sofa bed. And then there's the bed. I think it's king size. My son and my grandbaby slept on that. My daughter and I was on the sofa bed. Behind that door was the restroom. So here we're driving out from the hotel to get her checked in to her college. So it's, like I said, right across the street from the college. So when you pull up, of course you got to stop and check in with security, and they told us where we needed to go initially so that she can officially get checked in. So you'll see we're going to drive up to the sign and then make a left, and then we're going to pull all the way up in the parking lot till there's like a group of people waiting in the parking lot that basically will look up her name and then tell us where she needs to go, which she already knew her housing assignment, but they gave us like a placard to put on, like a paper, cardstock paper to put in the windshield of the car. And then this is the lodges where she's staying. And they all have, I believe, each lodge or building has a name of a spice, I believe. I may be wrong, but I think they're each a different spice, like nutmeg, cayenne, something like that. And so we're going to get her unloaded from the stuff that we initially have in the car from the drive to Florida. And of course, I'm looking at my tire, which needs air again. Now, this is afterwards. We went to her storage unit to get her stuff out of the storage. And then we also stopped at Target so that she can get some cleaning supplies and some groceries, some snacks and stuff for inside of her room. So while we're driving back, we're having a conversation about her saying she's not going to be sad this time. She's not going to cry. And I was like, remembering when I dropped off an externship, and I said to her, well, you cried when I dropped you off at your externship. And she was like, that's because I was going to be all by myself. And so I reminded her, I was like, well, okay, well, I remember when I first dropped you off at college for your first semester, you called me a couple of days later and talked about you wanting to come home. And I told you, and I gave her like a pep talk about, hanging in there, because that's always been her dream to go to this particular college ever since as long as I can remember. That's all she's ever talked about. And that's the only college she applied to, and she got accepted. So I was really, really proud of her for that. And so now that she has friends and things like that, she really, really loves the school and she enjoys going there. And this time around, I really saw the difference in her and her interaction with other people, and especially like her friends, as opposed to when she first initially went there. And it made me feel good and happy and glad for her. In the car, we're also talking because my grandson is in the back, and he was also talking earlier about he wants to go to that school. And it just reminded me about when he was there the first time she initially went. He went with us, and that's what he talked about was he was going to go to that college when he gets bigger. So yeah, it was reminding me of that. And he was talking about it again this time. So really, we're trying to like get as much done as possible because we kept on seeing signs about storm coming, winter storm, no travel, avoid the roads and all that. So we were trying to get all this done as soon as possible before the winter storm come, so that I can at least be back on the road, headed away from the storm, knowing that she's safe and sound inside of her dorm and everything is all situated. Unfortunately, I didn't have the opportunity to stay to help her to unpack because of the winter storm, but she did good and I'm proud of her. Now that we're back on campus, you can see on the left-hand side is the lodges slash townhomes, I guess that's what they call them. But the lodges is where she's staying, and then the townhomes are actually straight ahead on the road. Off to the right is the tennis court and student parking. So we're going to pull in to the left, right in front of her dorm slash lodge, and get the rest of the things out of the car that was inside of her storage unit and what we bought from Target. And of course, my grandson, he's 4. He had to help once again. And this is the inside, a quick video of the inside of her dorm.